Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing fantastic today. I am Manusha, your guide and host for this exciting journey into the world of location based solutions in the BFSI sector. We have got a thrilling webinar ahead, so grab your virtual seat because it's going to be a ride you won't want to miss. Now, I know you're probably thinking location based solutions, what's that all about? Well, that's exactly what we are here to explore. Whether you are seasoned professional in the BFSI sector or just dipping your toes into the financial world, we have got something special for you in this store. But before we dive into today's topic, let me introduce to our location intelligence business head, Mr. Pranav Mathur, who's going to guide us through this intriguing journey. Pranav, we are thrilled to have you here today. So, can you give our wonderful audience a sneak peek into what they can expect from us today in this webinar?
Absolutely. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. First, before I get started, just a quick AV check. Can you hear and see me clearly? I'll take that as a
I
yes.
think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So during the course of this webinar, we will explore how location intelligence is getting harnessed by the BFSI industry today, in with respect to optimizing and ramping up your business, and what Lepton is doing, to contribute in the space and help professionals and industry leaders like yourself, harness the power of location intelligence for not just optimizing and ramping up your operations, but also ensuring enhanced customer experience. So that's the key of it all, right? So are we good to go? Shall we start?
Yeah.
All right. So to begin with, just a quick glimpse of what location intelligence really is. It is basically leveraging location-based and geospatial data to derive a lot of actionable insights. During the course of this whole webinar today, I will talk about every definition about everything in with the help of an example or an instance, so that it makes real life sense to all attendees. So if I talk about location intelligence, let's take example of a bank. If a bank wants to open a new branch in a particular location, there are certain parameters that the bank has a checklist of, right? For example, the population of that location. Are there the competitors present? Are there any other POIs in that area? Do they already have an existing branch or not? Leveraging all these insights to take a informed decision of where to expand to next is what location intelligence is all about, and that's what we are here to harness as well. So why BFSI industry should explore location intelligence, or why they should introduce it in their ecosystem? Obviously, with the new launch of the government policy around GIS, RBI has given some guidelines around geotagging of all consumer transactions, of all terminal or point of sales devices, that we call it, geotagging of those. And any customer who comes to your bank website or your fintech website and they ask for a loan or any product, their location has to be accurately captured, meaning that they have to be residing within India, given that you're an Indian entity. So these are very crucial components which only can be answered through location intelligence. Secondly, with the evolution in the 5G technology, now all the technology is very easily and speedy access you have with 5G, and hence location intelligence become much more easier to harness. And thirdly, we have seen that with the launch of so many smart cities, we call it now, when they reach out to institutions like yourself for applying for a loan or applying for insurance and XYZ, there are a lot of geospatial dependency in terms of satellite imagery analysis. Let's say you are insuring a land, so you may want to have a satellite image view of their monthly or bi-weekly updates that's happening on the land, right? You want to know what are the features and functionalities of that area, what are the facilities available in that area, what is the air quality, climatic changes, and so on. So all these things can be harnessed via location intelligence, and hence worth exploring for the BFSI space. A quick snapshot of a very interesting statistics that was launched by BCG, stating that the customer experience increased from 8% to almost 70% with the introduction of map-based features within the platform and mobile application of the financial institution. So, for example, if I go to a bank website today, and instead of getting a list of ATMs with their location, if I can see it on the map, with my live location and the ETA to reach that map, that bank, along with the direction, that makes more sense to me, and probably is a better experience as well. And we've also seen a 30% reduction in fraudulent transactions, and you're able to accurately capture the address to prevent such fraudulent transactions as well. So a quick example there is, let's say I am sitting in place A, but my card was swiped in place B. So with the power of location intelligence, you're able to raise alerts and notify the customer much more efficiently and much more faster than before, which leads to, lowering the fraudulent transactions. All right. So with Lepton, our aspiration has always been to harness location intelligence, be it BFSI, automobile, e-commerce and retail, last mile delivery, logistics, and whatnot. So we would aspire to join hands with fintech giants like yourselves, and explore synergies around the location intelligence space. So how Lepton is basically driving in the changes in the BFSI space. Couple of things that we're trying to do, and some of them we've already done, which we will again talk about during the course of the presentation today. One of them is we have created tailor-fitting financial products, which could leverage a lot of location-based data, your own data, and then give you the relevant insights that you need, both from an optimization perspective as well as a business expansion perspective. We can identify market gaps. So for example, we will help you visualize your current footprint across the country. We will figure out or highlight the gap areas where you're currently not present, overlay those gap areas with a lot of data parameters like presence of your competition, presence of population count, affluence count, income levels, and whatnot, whatever data are relevant to you, and profile those gap areas so that you can take a decision whether it makes business sense for you to expand to that area or not. We are also working towards optimizing your field force operations. So we have a field force tracking application in-house built, which is being used by a lot of telecom companies as well, and of course in the insurance space as well. So what this application aims to do is help you create routes for your feet on street, monitor and track their live locations, create geofence around the destination where they have to go, and integrate and create customized reports, which can be then integrated with your attendance applications as well, right? We are also helping in prevention of the fraud detection, as I mentioned earlier in the BCG example. So we have a API based solution where the location of the customer and the location where the transaction was done gets captured, and then the banks are able to, in a very seamless way, raise alerts and notifications to the client that whether this transaction was actually done by them or it's fraud. We are also working on creating risk management for insurance space. So for example, we are the authorized resellers of Google Earth Engine, which I will talk about in the following slides. But basically it is for analyzing geospatial data, leveraging the power of Google Cloud. So data sets like climatic changes, population changes, infrastructure changes across the time span of 10 years, 15 years, those kind of analysis you can do, which is very crucial when it comes to the insurance space. We've also created applications around enhancing the customer experience, which includes ATM branch locators and KYC as well. So if there is a customer who comes on your website, there is a very easy check-in and check-out process, and ensuring almost 90% accuracy in when it comes to capturing the address of the customer, which is again very crucial, very important, right? And finally, we've also built solutions around strategic planning and expansion. So for example, we can tell you in a particular city what are the 10 hotspot areas where you may want to expand to next, based on different data parameters which may be important to your business. For instance, population, affluence, income level, presence of certain POIs, presence of your competition, presence of residential complexes, business parks, whatever, right? So these kind of parameters we amalgamate and then give you the insights that you need. So some of the commonly asked questions in the BFSI space that we have come across, I'm sure the list is much longer because you guys are the veterans, you know your business in and out. But some questions that we felt we should highlight that may synergize with what you face in day-to-day operations as well, thought to just list it out, and we'll try to answer some of these questions during the course of the presentation today as well. So what is the location of my customer? Where are they located in relation to my branches, ATMs? Are there high affluent places where my product can be marketed to? In which risk area should I, deploy my collection team? What is the location of the customer transaction? Is it accurate to where they are? How does the monthly, weekly transaction timeline look like? Right? Is it possible to capture customers' home address and location while visiting on website? So these are some questions that we are, very keen on answering, and we have answered to some extent, and that's what we will try to showcase as well. And I'll be, while we have a connect during the course of the webinar, we'd love to hear some questions that are not probably asked here, but you may be having, which I'll be happy to answer as well. So what I'll do is I'll walk you through some of the use cases that we have already worked upon. Could be some customized solution that we have, or some solution that we've built for some customer, and then that will give you some sense of what we are doing in the BFSI space as well. The first use case that I would like to talk about is the KYC. As you know, the inception and the foundation of every business today is data. If the data is inaccurate, every other team operation that is created as a follow-up process becomes staggered. So for example, in the BFSI space, if the customer applies for a credit card or a loan and their home address is not captured accurately, that same inaccurate address moves to the risk team, to the collections team, to the marketing team, to the product team, and everybody is operating with inaccurate data, which could lead to inaccurate analysis, and then obviously the optimization and expansion of business goes for a toss, right? So with this KYC, what we have done is it's an API based application that we have built, where your customer's home address, live location, and office address is captured. And we are also capturing, because it's a mobile app as well, so there via GPS or via web IP, we are able to capture the live locations. So during the span of the day, anytime if the customer is visited one of those addresses that has been given by them, that gets logged, and you're able to validate whether the addresses that were given by the customer are accurate or not. Now this is sort of a proxy for sending your feet on street physically to their house to validate. So that, of course, a lot of institutions are doing today, but this becomes more of a digital way to answer this problem, right? So that's where the KYC comes from. So, very accurately capturing the address can be via Lepton's in-house data or via the Google API as well. So I start typing ABC, that's the name of my society, for example. It'll give us a drop-down menu, which has a string of the complete address. The moment I select that address, it gets broken down into pin code, city, state, district, and the whole address string as well. That's one. And then you also capture the office address in the same manner. You capture the live location as well. And that's how we sort of created this whole application stack for targeting the KYC. Another very common solution that almost every financial institution, especially banks and insurance companies, need is a branch locator or an ATM locator, if I talk about banks. So the use case is that if I come on a bank's website, it should automatically capture my location, or I should be given the option to, for example, input my address. Once I input my address, my pin is visualized on the map, and around, let's say, a geofence of 2 kilometers, all my branches or ATMs, locations are visualized, along with a polylines showing the direction to reach the ATM, along with the ETA. So that's an experience in itself, which ensures, one, that the customer, when they have visited your website, they go to the ATM that they are desiring, which is closer to them, which enhances their experience as well. And they don't end up going to a competitor ATM, because if you let them go to the consumer Google Maps, which is free to use, it is not restricting displaying other ATM brands as well, right? That could lead to them not using your ATM or your branch and going to somewhere else. Okay, so that's two. Next use case is around risk assessment. So here there are multiple things that we're doing. So one of our implementation is again API based, where if I have the address of my customer, let's say I apply for a credit card, right? So now my address is captured by the bank. Against that address, we can give you the lat long, the pin code or locality or sub locality where this that lat long belongs to. And also provide profiling parameters like population of that locality, affluence, income levels, presence of competitor brands, presence of your brand, presence of other POIs like residential complexes, business parks, malls, theaters, whatever. So with this, what we're trying to do is create a profile of the location where your customer is hailing from, to give you a sense of risk For example, if I am applying for a high-end credit card with a high value, or let's say I'm applying for a very high value loan, whether that loan has to be given to me, whether I'll be, what are the trends of payments in that particular area that I'm hailing from, all these kind of questions you can answer via this, risk assessment. Before I move any forward, I'll take a quick pause now, and I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any. Anusha, if you can probably look at the Q&A part.
Yeah, we have few questions over here. Mr. Mayank has asked, any examples of type of fraud activities your application catches at KYC stage?
All right. So application is not able to catch frauds, of course. So when I talk about KYC, it basically means that we are capturing the address of the customer. So what we do in that format is we are able to, with the lat longs that are being captured throughout the day, we are able to validate that at what any point of time the address that was given by that particular customer, that lat long is matching that value or not, or that location or not, or is it in the geofence area or not. Detecting fraud is something that the of course at the bank level, or the financial institution level, they will be doing it, but we provide them the ammunition to detect whether it's a fraud or not, right?
Another question is, asked by Mr. Mohit that says, what are the best ways to measure the ROI of location-based solutions for financial services companies?
ROI, again, for financial services, ROI can be multifold. One of them is obviously accuracy of address, because if in today's time the address is not accurately captured, your complete business operations, strategies, marketing plans, they go for a toss, because they may or may not be aligned with the ground reality. That becomes a ROI in itself. And again, it all starts from the data, of course, and then profiling of location to help you identify where you want to expand to next has, again, very, very high ROI, as you already know, because that requires a lot of investment. I'll give you an example of a bank. Let's say if I want to open another branch, that requires a lot of expenditure at our end, right? A lot of OPEX and CAPEX. So if the location that I'm opening at is not well validated via location-based data, that becomes a problem, and eventually that branch may or may not do well, and we may have to close. It could be sheerly because there is already a branch some kilometers away, and that could lead to cannibalization of business, or it could be because that area has maybe in that particular area there are not many residential complexes, not many people living in. It's just like a business park or something. So these are certain parameters that are leveraged while evaluating the ROI depending on the use case.
Okay, so another question says that what is the granularity of addresses that you have for location intelligence for POI, affluence, etc.?
So POI is a point data. So we have the exact point and lat long. For affluence and let's say population, it can be as granular as 150 by 150 meter grid. And if I talk about admin level, then we have at the lowest granularity is sub locality. So we've got that.
Okay. So another question says, what measures are in place to protect customer privacy and data security during the location-based KYC process?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
What measures are in the place to protect customers' privacy and data security during location-based KYC process?
So customers' personal information is never asked when they are inputting an address. It is, let's say I'm living in a residential complex today. So all I'm inputting is my society name, which automatically generates the pin code, the street name, the city, state, district. That's about it. Now that is not categorized as a personal information. So any analysis or insights or features that we have created in the BFSI space is independent of the personal information. So we do not have requirement of asking for the phone number or the personal name or anything of that sort. Only the address is what is required.
Cool. Yeah, we can move forward.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Also, just a quick heads up, there will be a lot of poll questions that my team will be posting here. So please go ahead and answer those as well. That gives us some insights on whether you're liking the format of this presentation or not, or I've already put you to sleep. Okay, moving forward, the next use case is around field force tracking. So this is again very straightforward. We have a field force tracking application, the function of which are as follows. As a manager, you have a web platform access where you are able to assign route to your field agent. Now, this route could include multiple stopping points or multiple destinations that they have to visit in a day. And once the agent accepts it, which is on the mobile application, their selfie is clicked, which ensures that the agent who was assigned this duty is the one taking it. And at every point of time, it is capturing their live location, it is capturing their mobile battery percentages, so that in case if they switch off their phones in between and you're not able to track them, you know exactly what was their mobile battery percentage at the last time their phone was on. And then around the destination where they are supposed to go, we can create a geofence. So let's say 500 meters. So the moment the field agent enters the geofence, you are alarmed or you get notified that the agent has reached that location. You can create customized reports, integrate them with your attendance applications, and also we are capturing the duration which the customer stayed, the agent stayed at the customer location, so that you know that they didn't just pass by it, but they actually stayed for some time. That means there was a meeting that has happened, right? So it's a mobile and web-based application that we've created, and a lot of companies are already using it. It's pretty straightforward. I don't have any more inputs on that. Next use case is around new site selection. This is very important when it comes to, of course, the BFSI space as well. Expanding to a new location or business expansion is very, very crucial and heavily dependent on not just, your field survey, but it's a combination of your field survey, a combination of your business insights, and combination of companies like us to give you some insights from a location perspective, right? So, for example, what we do is, let's say if you say that I want to open a new branch in Delhi. So we break down Delhi into, let's say, pin code or locality or sub locality or whatever granularity you want to. We can break it down into that. That's number one. Number two, then against each boundary, we will upload your data, which is your current footfall, your current customer base, any other parameters that you may have in terms of sales or revenue numbers or whatever that you want to analyze. That all data is uploaded from your side. Then from our side, we upload population, we upload income level, affluence, POI, competitor presence, and whatever. So we have more than 250 parameters of data. So whatever parameters are crucial for your business, we upload that. And then we generate a score of each location. And the highest rated locations or highest scored locations are the ones which are highlighted, stating that, based on these business parameters, these are the optimal locations where you may want to explore, opening next. These are again all decision enablers. They are not decision making tools. At the end of the day, it is your market insight that has the highest value, but we would like to validate that with the location intelligence space. So a very specific use case towards insurance, specifically in motor insurance. So let's say I have met an accident, or I'm in distress, and I need to reach out for roadside assistance. So what we have created for you today is an application where when I call the call center, the call center is able to leverage our API to accurately capture your address. That's number one. Convert our address to lat long, then identify which are the nearest drivers or roadside assistance vehicles near to my location and deploy them to my location via optimized route. So this is something that we have created for you. That's one part of it. And second part of it is, let's say I am planning a trip from, let's say, Delhi to someplace in Haryana or intercity or interstate, right? So we can provide you optimized route, not just on the basis of shortest time, which is a proprietary of Google Maps, but what we can do for you is create an optimized route based on the presence of certain point of interest, like charging stations, fuel stations, restaurants, or public washrooms, or whatever is a mandate or ask from your side. So these are two things that we've created in the insurance space from the roadside assistance perspective. We have also leveraged something called as Google Earth Engine, which is a platform to analyze geospatial data. And we have created a solution for detecting the hotspots where spread of malaria is high, right? Now, this was just one case that we have built, but we can tweak this use case to showcase which are the more earthquake prone areas, or which are the more airborne disease prone areas, or we can analyze a piece of land based on it's vegetation or infrastructure development over the years or population trends over the years, right? So this Earth Engine application can be used in various ways for catering to various use case requirements. So that's about all the use cases that I had to talk about. I'll again take a quick pause. If there are any questions around the use cases that we walked through, if you want me to explain something again, I'm happy to do that.
So we have this question. How does the solution accurately capture the distress location of customers in need of assistance, and what technologies or methods are used for this purpose?
There are two things that can be done. One is if the customer is well enough to make a call to the call center, then what happens is via their mobile GPS, anyways, the lat long is getting captured. That is one level of capturing the customer location. Another way is they can verbally say that I'm at this location. So when they use when they use Lepton's API, which also complements Google's Places autocomplete, we are able to capture that location more accurately via the call center. And then again, there is a SOS feature that again captures the GPS, and through which GPS is the most in this scenario, GPS being the most accurate way of capturing the location, is able to help the call center with your location. And also if there are inbuilt consoles on the car which have those OBD devices or SIM cards installed to it, they also track your location via capturing the geolocation. So these are some of the methodologies of accurately capturing the locations.
The one says, can you explain the technology or method used to verify customers' live location permanent addresses electronically?
Okay, so in the KYC space, what we do is we use Google's autocomplete API. So instead of allowing the customer to manually input each and every word of their address, what we do is, let's say I live in ABC society. So I type ABC and it'll give me a drop down of 5 suggestions. I select one suggestion, which is the address string. Now this address string then gets broken down into pin code, city, state, road name, whatever, right? All those parameters. So because there are different lines of addresses that are mandated by the banks and insurance and the fintechs, right? So once that address is captured, we are also via either IP or via geolocation or via GPS capturing the location, the live location of the consumer or the customer, right? And then we also capture the office address, because there is a page where we have the data of all the registered offices in the country, so they have to also input their office name. Then we are able to get that location as well. So during the course of the day, your application will be capturing their lat longs, right? So what we do is, the methodology that we currently have is, we cross reference the lat longs that have been captured through the entirety of the day with the lat long of the addresses that have been given by the customer, and we are able to see whether there is a match anytime during the day or not, right? If not, then definitely we have to go back to them and check whether this address that they're given is correct. So nowadays a lot of companies are doing Aadhaar based verifications, right? But the address on Aadhaar may or may not be the current address where I live at, right? My Aadhaar may be of Delhi, but I'm living in Mumbai. So it's not necessary that I get my Aadhaar address changed. So that cannot be completely dependent upon for getting the capturing the address accurately of the customer. Hence, we have created this application.
Another question says, what data sources or methods are used to verify accuracy of income related information of these areas? Question mark.
Income is not a direct data parameter. It is a derivative of a lot of data sets that we've got. So for example, for a particular location, presence of certain point of interest, rental rates of societies, then population trends, from let's say from the past 2-3 years. These are some of the proxies that we use to derive the income level and affluence. And of course, we've got a lot of mobile-based data as well, where we can profile a location based on footfall, based on spends. So these are some of the parameters that we use. There are of course a lot of surrogates that can be created in terms of defining affluence and income levels, but these are some of the things that we do.
So another question says, how does the solution identify and recommend specific locations for setting up newer branches or ATM machines?
Distress location of customer. So I'm sorry, can you please repeat? I'm not.
How does the solution identify and
Mhm.
recommend specific locations for setting up newer branches or ATM machines?
Okay, so basically what we do is we create a profile around each location. Let's say you want to do analysis at a locality level, right? Now, in that locality, what we do is we map out your presence, current presence, if there is any. We then map out your competitors' presence. Then we overlay data like population count, presence of residential complexes, presence of certain other POIs like other banks or restaurants or cafes or malls or whatever. So these are some of the parameters that you may define, or we can take from our experience as well, that what are the crucial parameters that you look at while you decide on a location. Those parameters we overlay on top of the data that you provide us, and then we are able to analyze and highlight those areas where it makes sense for you to expand to next. Any other questions? We move on then.
Yeah, we can move forward.
All
Yeah.
right, good. Thank you. So, moving forward, I'll just walk you through very quickly what are some of the customized solutions that we already have in-house that we have created over the course of 2-3 years, talking to a lot of, companies like yourself. So, one of the first solution that I want to talk about is Smart Market, which is into market insight analysis for business expansion. So, as I was telling you, if you want to figure out new locations where you want to expand to next, Smart Market is the tool for you. This is a map-based platform where you overlay data at different admin boundary levels. It could be pin code, locality, sub locality, city, state, whatever level you want to do analysis on. You overlay a lot of data, and then using different filters and tools you can figure out what are the top profiled locations, what are the lowest profile locations. You can create heat maps based on your customer behaviors. You can do a lot of things related to based on map analysis, and then derive your insights and decisions going from there. Then we also have something called a smart data, which is just vanilla, which is all the data that we got off the shelf, which we are providing in the form of an API, where population, income level, affluence, POI count, residents versus commercial, land cover, land use, any data parameter that you can think of which has a location component to it, we are able to capture that, and we have a repository of it as well. And then we have got something called a smart track, which is field force management, which I've already mentioned. It's all about field force tracking, live monitoring their live location, monitoring their battery percentage, creating customized report, integrating with their attendance app. All these things you can do. Then we've got something called KYC, which I've also spoken of, where we have APIs to capture the address accurately, not allowing the customer to give manual intervention to ensure that the accuracy is higher than what it would be if they would manually type or write the address. And then we've got branch locator as well. So these are some of the customized solutions. Also wanted to quickly highlight that we are the oldest and largest Google Maps partner in the country. We have, our partnership is almost 15 years now, and because of our GIS capabilities, we are the only authorized partner of Google Maps to sell Earth Engine. That's Google Earth Engine commercial license, where you can do geospatial analysis of data. Some of the data catalogs like satellite imagery, vegetation index, climatic changes, all these via time lapse you can do. And our operations are, of course, globally across 25 countries we are present, and we've been in the industry for 30 plus years now, right? Um, these are some of our top clients across different industries. So as I said, location intelligence is industry agnostic. Today's session, of course, is more towards BFSI, but yeah, we have presence across all industries, as you can see. All right. And with that, I think I will conclude the presentation. But just, before I conclude, I would also love to show you, one of our platforms. Just give me 1 second, which is, I would really encourage all of you to visit this website of ours and see this platform for yourself. Is my screen visible?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Great. So this is our data platform that we have created, right? So what we have done very recently is give a map based contextualization of the data. So if, for example, you're looking for any sort of data across the country, for let me take an example of, let's say, POI, right? So what we have done here is we've given you a sample of the point of interest data, all the POI categories that we've got here, right? So for Bangalore, at a we have given some point of interest count here, let's say at a grid level, or let me just choose locality. So these are the locality boundaries of Bangalore city. And for each locality, certain POIs are already selected because it's a sample. So you can see the count of those POIs here, right? And there is a legend here as well. And we have also given this in the form of a table that you can sort of visualize and download. Okay. So this is a map-based data visualization platform, which gives a keen insight on our smart data capabilities and data as an API. So please have a look at this. We've got a lot of data parameters here. More of them are getting added as well. So you want to have a look at the admin boundaries. We've got all of them. We've got fueling station data, road network data, toll data, POI, population, live incidents, infra now, affluence, footfall. So, some of the parameters that are crucial to you, you can have a look at it through the map. And then, of course, we can get on a call to discuss other cities if you have a requirement of, right? All right. So with that, I will conclude my presentation. Happy to answer any other questions if there are any. And over to you, Anusha.
Uh, so, so thank you all for joining us today. It has been an incredible journey, and we are grateful to have had each and every one of you here with us. This concludes our webinar today. Remember to stay curious, keep learning, and take positive steps towards your goals. Wishing you all a fantastic day ahead. Until we meet again for another webinar, take care. Thank you so much.